So here I have House Sketching. Learn to create energetic and expressive architectural drawings by Albert the House Sketcher. Now this is recently published in 2024 by Quarry Books. It has 144 pages and it's a softback. Now I really like Albert's distinctive quirky style, and in this book he's going to share his techniques with you, and he also has some QR codes which will link you to some of Albert's little videos that he's made for this book, which will actually show the techniques, so that's really helpful. Now let's have a look inside. It's a very nice book, nice thick pages, and we have a dedication here to the artist. I think that is very appropriate for so many people, and I love seeing all of these sketches here. So we start off with chapter 1, My Approach, chapter 2, House Sketching, the Process, chapter 3, the projects. There are 15 projects, and these are buildings in the Netherlands, Japan, France and the United States. And then we have chapter 4, Showtime. So here we have the introduction, and then we have chapter 1, and it's got my favourite materials. Now Albert works mainly with alcohol markers, so he's got a note here about using a bleed sheet, and throughout the book you'll find these little coloured boxes with some tips there, so that's very helpful. And you'll see here one of the QR codes to scan. And we have creating a colour chart, gathering source material, and there's Albert's sketching, sketching on the go, and some lovely images from inside Albert's sketchbooks. Now, freedom from precision. This is brilliant. Now Albert mentions you don't want to be using straight lines, you want to let the lines have some movement to give your building some movement, and I think this is so important for so many people, especially for people with shaky hands who find it absolutely impossible to draw a straight line. And I just think, yes, let your hand wobble a bit. That is really, really helpful. Then we have reproduction or interpretation, simplifying and symbolising, exaggeration, making it your own. Just look at all these sketches. This is a very busy man. Colour, light and dark. And chapter 2, House Sketching, the Process. So we've got picking your subject, the anatomy of a house, and Albert, he breaks down the house into little sections to make it easier to draw. And he also mentions how important it is for a silhouette, because if you're not sure and you do a silhouette, you can see whether the building is going to look interesting or not before you start to actually draw. Then we have composition, depth, perspective, the least you need to know, and sketching, colouring and detailing, how to make a sketch more interesting, and then we have the fun bit, the projects. So with each project it will list the actual colours that you'll need and the reference photo, and you may get a perspective picture or a silhouette or both. So there's lots of help here at the beginning for you. And then you have the different stages set out, and at the bottom of the stages it will tell you what colours you should use or what colours have been used. We have quite a variety of buildings, and I'll just flick through these buildings just so you can have an idea. I think there'll be something for everyone in here. All different styles. And then we come to chapter 4, Showtime. So this covers scanning your images, sharing them and archiving them to keep them safe, and how to make some money from your sketches. And then we have a timeline of Albert's sketches, starting for his first sketch and working through the years, just some examples of how he's progressed. We have some closing thoughts and acknowledgements, resources, photographs about the author, where you can find him online, and the index. So I think this is a wonderful book. It's really exciting, and it really is a book that I think is going to appeal to a lot of people. Now with this book, you're going to learn the techniques that are going to encourage you to experiment, not to copy things exactly as you see them. And even if you don't have any prior experience of sketching houses, you're going to get a lot of inspiration from this book. You're going to have the freedom to interpret your buildings however you wish. It's a really unique book. I feel there's a lot of energy in the sketches, and I think it's really going to encourage you to look at buildings differently, not to just to do a traditional style drawing, but to really have a go at something different, not to be scared, and just to encourage you to make your own style, find your own style of drawing and sketching buildings. Now, Albert has his very own video on this book, so I'm going to put a link below in the description box so you can go and listen to Albert talking about his book. But that's Housesketching, a really exciting new book.